So, what is a fear-driven false belief? My name is Tim. Welcome back to another video from the Academy of the Mental Arts, a life coaching academy that I started that takes you along your own custom journey within the stages of the hero's journey to help you become the person you want to become the heroic version of yourself, the person that will save yourself from your past ineptitude, whatever that may be. If it's fear holding you back, if you're stuck in a vicious cycle, if you're stuck with addiction, PTSD, patterns of behavior that don't vibe with you anymore, I will help you along that journey. Just send me a message if you want to join the academy. It is free to join at this time. So I want to let you guys know that we are talking about the refusal of the call, which is the third stage of the hero's journey on this series that we're going through. So what is the refusal of the call? It's the hesitation that comes from the call to adventure that presents itself to you once you get honest with yourself and get hopeful knowing that there's something else out there. This fear, the refusal of the call, is a great thing because it is what allows you to need the third principle and have the realization that I need to turn my will, I need to turn my life over to what I can put my faith in, whether that's knowledge, whether that's a support group, whether that's something greater than yourself, a power greater than yourself, a higher power, whether that's God, whether that's the universe, whatever it is, you have to be able to trust in this completely, like hands off the wheel, jumping in the water, complete trust of this, okay? When you have that, practice it. If you don't practice a principle, you'll never turn it into a virtue. That's how you convert a principle into a virtue. A virtue is a behavior, it's a sensibility that is a deep subconscious auto program to where you don't even got to think about it anymore. You're being honest. You don't even got to think about it anymore. You're being hopeful. When you make those two things virtues, then sooner than later, you make that decision to turn your will and your life over to what gives you that power of faith that can push you past all these fearful situations in life, because we're humans. We love comfort because there's so much unexpected things that happen in life. But if you know that all the unexpected things that are happening in life are coming from a deeper meaning that appeals to you, that is meant to help you, that is meant to teach you, because every bad thing, good things that we go through are great, right? But the bad things we go through, the suffering that we go through, gives us the greatest lessons that we could ever receive. Because, you know, they say pain is the greatest teacher for a reason. And that's because there's so many lessons to be gained through the trials and tribulations that we go through. And when we turn our perception from being a victim to these things to being worthy of receiving these things, you know, and later we'll talk about humility and how powerful humility can be. But you will see just how empowering it is to shift the mindset between, oh no, why me, to I see why this is for me. I see how this will help me. As hard as it is, I understand that this is meant to be. So, with that being said, we're continuing our talk on the refusal of the call. And a lot of things will pop up in your head as the refusal of the call when the call to adventure presents itself to you. A lot of these are negative core beliefs about yourself. They're programs from the past. Where do they come from? They probably come from traumatic experiences. And through those traumatic experiences, they create these insecurities, these doubts of safety, which is what insecurity means, right? It's without security. So an insecurity, a negative core belief, like I'm not good enough, which is minimizing, it's a cognitive distortion, or I will fail, which is jumping to conclusions, cognitive distortion. These are all things that will power the fear. They drive fear. Or no one will support me no one will accept me, they won't like me, they will reject me. All of these things have to do with our fear response, which really, if you look at it deep on a deeper level, has to do with survival. Because we fear rejection because acceptance means that we're more likely to survive. No human wants to be alone, so that's why we have that instinctual fear. And because of that, there's so many behaviors, thoughts, and emotions that will spread forth, branch forth out of that fear, to where then you are seeking comforts to help deal with these fears or traumas that you've gone through. So as we continue, I should mention that cognitive distortions are stemmed from deep subconscious programmed negative core beliefs created in the past as a defense mechanism of the ego, the personas. The personas are the masks that we wear. To every persona that we put on, it's usually to compensate for a idea, because that's all it really is, of lack in ourself. The truth is there is no lack, but we create one every time we have fear. Fear is what initially creates that ego, the feeling of I'm separate, therefore I must survive. And this all starts when we're 5 years old. We create this egoic mainframe of persona, and as soon as what is acceptable is committed to as a persona, we go against some parts of ourselves that were naturally not fitting with that, and then that's what gets assigned to what's called a shadow, which is all the parts of you that aren't necessarily agreeable with your environment, or the programmed good that you've been told you need to be. The real you is an incorporation of the persona that is who you are without creating a mask, and the shadow underneath intertwined. That's called individuation, and that's what happens along the hero's journey as a result of going through the stages of the hero's journey. Carl Jung's theory of individuation really happens, and that's why we love seeing main characters go through this, because that's how we learn ourselves on our own hero's journey. And that's why we spend so much money on these movies and these books, and they do so well, because it appeals to something deep within us, within our subconscious, which is how humans overcome their prior conditions affecting their mind, body, and spirit. So, to continue, without the virtue of honesty that you obtained in stage 1, the hero will remain in the bottomless pit of denial, making fear as logic and excuses, and pride, not to be confused with confidence, because pride is not confidence. Pride has to do with the ego. Pride has to do with a sense of entitlement. Confidence does not. So, confidence is authentic awareness of one's abilities. It's free from pride. It's free from conceit. You can be humble and confident, but you can't be prideful and humble. It just won't work. So hope is the second virtue. Hope is what will point to the reality that there is an escape out of the ordinary world. Hope also fuels the imagination and gives you the ideas of what could be. And what is so appealing about this call to adventure is your imagination. It's an image that's generated, right? You have a vision that you want to do, you want to become, that version of yourself that you want to be. Where does that imagination come from? Where do you think it comes from, right? I want you guys to think about that, because imagination is the ability, it's the beginning stages of creation. So think about, the creator. Think about where that creative energy comes from that created everything around us, right? You have that ability in you because it's within you. And it's not something you should ignore, it's something that you should use. And that is what can give you that hope when the refusal of the call presents itself to you. That's time to let you know that it's time to have faith in this vision that is within me. So I'll see you on the next one. Peace.